myself, Jamie, and Dave were just talking about our own lives, and did Gary come up organically? He sure did. Welcome to A Million Little Podcast. This is episode 4, I believe, correct? Mm-hmm. Episode 4 of the season. They're moving quickly. I'm Kevin. I'm here with Jamie.
Hi.
And we're also here with your boy, Dave Matthew Miller. What's up?
How's it going, guys? Great to be back. For me, it feels like episode 1.5 because with the week schedule. I wish I was on last week's show. Unfortunately, I was watching my football team lose once again. So I'm glad to be back. I'm glad it's a Thursday.
You saw the Lions lose in a particularly. You went to Green Bay.
Yes.
You went to Green Bay to you traveled up there.
Sucks to travel and lose. That's not fun.
Done that before, but Dave saw his team lose in a distinctly notable, unfair way. There were 2 first downs given to the Green Bay Packers on hands to the face penalties, correct? That were provably no hands ever touched the face.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
What is the point?
My hand is smacking my face about how dumb that is.
It sucks. Yeah.
It was very frustrating.
And the Lions look actually good for it's not, as you know, you've been a Lions fan since I know you. When I met Dave, we were in 8th grade, and Dave wore a Barry Sanders jersey over whatever shirt he was wearing almost every day that I remember. And Dave's like such a genuine Chicago guy, and we grew up in the suburbs, but Dave's family is Chicago, like South Side.
Yeah.
So it's funny that Dave, one of the most Chicago people I've ever met, is a Detroit football fan, but always has been. And so, as I'm sure Dave would think, a fittingly disappointing Monday.
It was horrible. Again, I don't like to blame officials, and the Lions can't settle for 5 field goals and expect to win.
Sure.
But it's still disappointing. They outplay the Packers. I mean, it's very disappointing. I think they've played well all year, and they're, basically a 500 team. But it's fine. It was a nice trip, 24-hour trip, and so glad to be back.
Nice. Cross off that historic stadium is one to see.
You know what else is disappointing?
What?
Da-na-na-na-na-na. We missed Danny's birthday. Da-na-na-na-na-na. It was on the 11th. Da-na-na-na-na. I'll never forgive myself. Da-na-na-na-na. Happy birthday to Chance, the real person whose birthday it was, not Danny.
I know. Chance is the real human being who actually plays Danny.
We say Danny because you guys know Danny. You know who we're talking about.
Yeah. His birthday was October 11th?
Yes.
That's my dad's birthday.
I know. We were in Vegas.
Chance is my dad.
Prove us wrong.
You can't prove he's not. You actually very much can.
I know. I don't log on to the Million Little Things Twitter.
You talking about our show's Twitter account, Jamie?
Yep, I almost got it.
Mm-hmm.
A Million Podcast on Twitter. I don't log in until it's a show day, and by the time I did, it was too late. He was already thanking people for his birthday wishes.
And we fucking blew it.
I nearly pulled a John and jumped off the damn building.
Oh, dear God. Jamie almost John Dixoned because of it.
That's how upset I was.
Well, happy birthday, Danny. I'm glad Danny / Chance got the day off for this episode.
Yeah, he got a break, which, that's the punishment I deserve for missing his birthday, so that's
so
fine.
hard on yourself.
I know. Although, and then friggin' Chance goes and gives me a birthday present. He tweeted us, or someone else tweeted about us to him, Caroline, on Twitter. Thank you so much. And he said, I love A Million Podcasts. My dad and I were listening last night when we wrapped filming. You guys are hilarious. When do I get to come on the show? And now
that is big time.
Did you see? Yeah, did you see that? I didn't see that until a few minutes ago. And so that's pretty fun. So we will Chance is throwing it out there. We'll get Chance on the show. We'll do that.
I know.
We have to do that short. I don't know if we should just do a separate episode, just hanging with Chance, or which sounds like an ABC sitcom from the 90s.
This is our spin-off podcast, Hanging with Chance. As much as he wants to talk to us, that's how many episodes there will be.
Right.
I would be so nervous. That's probably why we haven't contacted him.
It's because Jamie would freak. Yeah.
Because I'm going to say something real stupid. It's 100% sure. And you know what? I'm going to just give another real quick Chance appreciation.
Yeah.
Shout out that has nothing to do with us. obviously lots of people write to him. He writes back to everybody. He's great. And a kid wrote to him on Twitter and said, "Hey, Chance, I'm shy. It's hard for me to make friends, but I do have some friends, but not too many. And it feels like a lot of people don't like me, and that's how I feel sometimes." And I was like, And then Chance said, "I'm your friend, and if people don't like you, it's probably because they don't like themselves." True. Hang in there.
Jamie throwing a hard true down.
Ain't that right, boo? True.
And he says it gets way better, and I just thought that was lovely.
It is really
Good
nice.
Good job, Chance.
Yeah, it's very nice. Nice to be a voice of just nice stuff out there too. So we will holler back at Chance soon, and maybe we'll have him up on here. And certainly our number one friend of the show. We have a couple of friend of the shows. I believe the actress who played Gina has given us a couple shout outs before, and then
Gina's great.
And then. Also, who else did? One of the others did.
Christina Ochoa.
Ochoa.
Well, she slid into my DMs. She did that. So
Yeah, she slid. You're right. She slid into Dave's DMs. Understandable. She's only human, so it's he's out there. DM Dawn on Instagram. But yeah, let's get into this episode. So this episode specifically. We had, there's really, I feel like there's only, this had less than a million little things to pick apart, I think.
A few big old things.
Yeah.
There were just a couple big storylines. Classic Million Little Things. Everybody showed up together at the end.
Dave, since you weren't here last episode with us, what would you like to dive into first? Do you have, what had you most fired up this episode?
Yeah, I think they did a good job of the Regina-Delilah sort of business partnership. I mean, I feel like we never start with the restaurant, so maybe that could be a good place to start.
Sure, and Dave has been the representative of the service industry this show. He was doing that before. A man who's Dave is a professional college football writer. He's also worked in bars in Chicago a lot, bars and restaurants in Chicago a lot. So there was some of that to this episode. Also, I thought it was weird. There was a power outage storm scenario on the show today, right? So the restaurant, Gina's restaurant, had a power outage, and Jamie and I are in New York, and Dave is in Chicago, and New York had a gigantic storm, and hundreds of thousands of people lost power in the Northeast, including in Boston, which is where this show is set. And that just happened today as the episode aired. So, weird little bit of kismet there, I guess.
Is DJ Nash psychic?
Is he? Possibly. So Gina, at first on the phone, I thought it was a little bit, when she was on the phone being like, is that the price of the crabs I'm buying, or is that the golden truck you're driving it in on? I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that, right? It sounded...
Or is that the truck the crabs were driving to get to the restaurant?
It sounded very like very much an improv kid doing... and not the actress's deal at all. I mean, these were the words she had to say.
No, the lines, not the acting.
But the lines were, it was very much like an improv, a kid in like a decent improv class pretending to be a stockbroker. It was a lot of like, buy, sell,
shrimp, sell
like,
shrimp.
Right. I was just like, I don't believe this is business actually happening.
Yeah.
And then...
Point being, she's poor. She has to get fish. It's hard.
Yeah, and she's trying to get stuff from cheaper places now. And... Dave will appreciate, and James Roday, wrestling guy, Mark James Roday, who, a.k.a. Gary, would appreciate Mark. That chef, Albert. I'm Team Albert. How you feeling about Albert, Dave?
A big fan of Albert.
Albert's great. He is Eric Rowan. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, very much so.
That's for us and Roday, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a lot of people... enjoying that comment.
Hopefully Roday's teaching Chance about wrestling, so eventually it'll be for him also.
Sure. So that's how it started. And Dave, tell us about the Gina Delilah dynamic there with the restaurant.
Well, you had Gina, the one being there most of the time, so she obviously felt like she was sort of the driver of the entire business. But you would see in past episodes Delilah make sort of little faces when Regina was taking the wheel. Yeah. And so I always felt like she never got her just due. So you knew this was going to be like, you knew this was going to come to head at some point, and it did tonight.
Yeah, and Delilah eventually called Gina out for acting like she wasn't a part of this.
And they have a knockdown, drag-out, 30-second fight about it, and then it's fine.
Absolutely. And, they teased it with, we're having restaurant reservation issues and the bad weather. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, just Delilah being like, my opinion doesn't matter in so many words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it is, you see where Gina's coming from, because she is, the chef, and Delilah don't know nothing about making no shrimps. So it's like...
Jamie turned into a Cajun all of a sudden. Delilah don't know nothing about making no shrimp.
She don't know how to make up these gators here. She don't even know how to turn on the fire machine.
That makes sense. That's Cajun. It's a little half French there.
I've watched... Oh, my God, yeah. I've watched some Gator people. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to yell at your TV in Cajun talk. So in that sense, Gina's right, because it's like, Delilah's not helping make it any menus and that kind of stuff, but she is there, and she's, if you tell her to do something, she'll do it. She's ready to help. So it's like, in that sense, it's not helping you to ignore her. She is there. So like, try and find a way to make Delilah useful.
I guess my question is, what does Delilah do?
She got the man to help that Gina hated.
Right. She flirted.
That's the Andrew situation, yeah.
Yeah, she flirted some money into the business.
Yeah.
Am I missing something that Delilah does?
I think she's just sort of, she's like
she's an investor, too.
Host. She's an investor, for one. Like, I mean, she just kind of is there. She's like a PA. She'll like, I'll stock the wine, and I'll make sure those people get their check, or like, I'll help out if we're busy seating,
Seems like she'd be a perfect hostess. Like, she's exotic and pretty and like, like charming in a banal way, yeah.
Bonjour.
They
better for too?
Mm-hmm.
Oui. Mm-hmm. This way?
Yeah, so they...
Why am I here?
Why am I here? What am I doing? And I think, like, it is Gina's place, right? But I thought Gina almost had the most CEO boss-like moment she's ever had, because when everything went bad, she freaked out and did nothing. And in my experience, in almost every job, but certainly at the Olive Garden, my experience with bosses is they like freaking out and not helping in any way. And Gina did that basically to a T while Albert was trying to do shit. And Gina's like, I'm freaking, I'm sad. And
Albert never batted an eye.
No.
He was on it.
Right. And then eventually Gina does, basically, the like construction worker guy or whatever, they just start like feeding them. Mm-hmm. Right.
It seems like she was letting the problems get too big. She was only concentrating on the big, which she does have some big old problems with money and the whole thing, and then forgetting about all the little good things that she can do to make it good. And then the blackout makes her remember why she loves her restaurant family. Mm-hmm. Family style.
Yeah. When you're here, you're family.
Yes.
Yeah, that's... So, yeah, and it's nice that... I do like the guy who plays Albert. I thought he was like a likable dude.
Yeah, he did great. Mm-hmm. And it's, it's good. Yes, she has a freak out. Things go wrong. Everything goes wrong. You understand why she's just like, God hates me, and I don't want to do this anymore. And so I was like, I would have probably thought the same thing.
Yeah.
And then the one thing Delilah does do is just like, friggin' the blackouts everywhere. It's not just us. Settle the F down and, run your gosh darn restaurant. And then she does. Yeah. And then it's fine. By the way, I do hate family style. I'm just going to say that now.
You hate family style as a dining option.
I mean, if I'm with my actual family or friends, that's fun, but not the kind at the end where it's just like, oh, we're not with this party. Well, you are now.
Mm-hmm.
Go make friends.
Sucks. Yes, fuck that.
In the it was a feel good moment in the actual episode, but then I'm just like, I'd be like, no, can I get something to eat in my car?
We just Jamie and I were with some of our best friends. We're just at a drag brunch in Las Vegas, and it was a table for 8. There were 6 of us, and there were 2 seats, and they were like, "You're going to make some friends." And even that, I was like, I have anxiety over this. I don't want 2 strangers at my table to be friends with. And yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I wonder those people had to pay at the restaurant.
I kept wondering that too.
I know, because I was thinking, is she gonna? It seemed like she was comping them.
Yeah,
right.
Like for sure, the first construction guy, and then as more people started coming, it's like, well, these people, you should pay, because then people were like, oh, thank God some place is open because we need to eat, and it's just like, well, now those people, you could be like, great, give me $40.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Have Delilah just collect cash at the door.
Yeah, it should at least be the Radiohead album, Pay What You Feel, at least,
Yes, put out a bucket.
It shouldn't just be nothing. But I thought if she was comping them, maybe something would turn out to be, maybe they'll get press for being someone who...
And they probably will.
Yeah, maybe that'll be a next episode thing where they, fed the working class in a time of need, and then people will support them. So, yeah, that was cool. Are we... anything else with the restaurant angle, Dave?
Let me check my notes. No, I think I'm good there. I did think when that construction worker came in that we were going to have, the first thing that came into my mind was, could this be a potential love interest for her?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
It's like move over, Mom.
I know. I did have a half second of just are they going to fall in love? Because it's this TV show. It's like, no, wait, she's married. She's married. She's married to Rome, and they like each other.
Yeah, people have been married on this show before, and
right. But she's not. Neither one of them is a wiener, so it's.
Yeah,
I trust them.
All right, should we pivot to I don't know the rest? I didn't have a ton of other Delilah stuff there. I guess the main other thing was that. I guess it goes into Katherine's situation.
Right, the whole Katherine Eddie Theo thing. Yeah, Delilah does have a misguided moment where where Katherine has to come meet the baby because Theo's a real dink about it. And just we all have to go give the present to the baby as a family. And she's like, oh, good.
I wrote Theo has no chill about this baby whatsoever.
No, Theo is... maybe he feels that it's his sister. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess it is technically his half sister.
Yeah, he feels it. There's something there. The force is the bullshit. The being on the bullshit is strong in the family.
It would be pretty great if Theo was like, I feel like this baby's half on her bullshit. Are we relatives that way?
He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they all have to go by the house, and Theo finally gives his present that they keep teasing. Was it the guitar? Was that the present that he gave her?
That Theo gave? Was it the mini guitar?
It had to have been, yeah.
Yeah, because then he sings the baby a song, which is
Bruno
lovely.
Mars.
Okay, Bruno Mars. Yeah, I was like, I know it's a real song, and I couldn't place it. But it's like, do all the kids on this show sing? Can there be one? I hope Charlie can't carry a tune for shit.
Which one's Charlie?
The baby.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, yeah. That's not
We had Chance was killing Grease last week.
Yeah, that's right.
That's established. Obviously, Sophie
is mainly a singer.
A singer.
Yeah, she's an actual singer.
And now Theo is busting out his little guitar, which he may or may not have actually been playing.
It's like the fucking Sound of Music up in this piece.
Yeah. Von Traps all over the place.
Yeah, everyone's singing. Running away from that.
Sophie's had 2 scenes this year.
Yeah, Sophie showed up to be an asshole today, where she just took a photo of people in the shower and we're like, bye, I'm putting it on the internet.
That's assault, brother.
Yeah, that's not... Sophie, can I teach you about consent?
Seriously. You millennial teens should know about that stuff. Sophie pops by for 1 second, so we know she's not dead. So that's nice. But yes, and then Katherine freaks out, obviously. I believe DJ Nash tweeted that it's a girl, the baby's a girl, because he wanted Delilah to have the daughter that Katherine always wanted. It's like, you sick motherfucker.
I guess in the way that, that's in, film school or, screenwriting, it's like you try to turn the screws and make everything as difficult as possible, right?
Yep. It's true. You're supposed to. I hate it.
I know. I don't really love writing that way. But then again, no one's paying me to write an hour-long drama. So
you write an hour-long drama with zero conflict, and people are like, something by Shonda Rhimes is on. I think I'll change the channel.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that, and Katherine freaks out, and then Delilah tries to go comfort her. It's just like, I know what you're going through. It's like, you know.
Fuck off, Delilah. Yeah.
Even if you did, Delilah, even if you had been somehow through this exact same situation with someone else, you're not the one think is going to comfort Katherine in
Oh,
this
no.
moment.
No, and and so basically, I guess we can run through Catherine's angle. Basically, I just wrote "This sucks," S-U-X, all caps, basically, as this episode begins, when her son is being like, go meet this baby that you know is my dad, your husband's baby. Like, go meet it. And she's like, fine, so that sucks. And she shows up, and I just wrote, tell Delilah to fuck off. Like, when Delilah's just being like, I just want you to be happy. What can I do? It's like, well, you could not fuck my husband for months, I suppose, and not get pregnant by, like, is it that much to ask to fuck my husband in a protected way? Like, I guess that would have been cool. Like, tell my husband to wear a condom while you fuck him, or be on the pill while you fuck my husband. These are a number of things you could do that would be cool. And instead of just, like, fucking my husband for a long time, having the baby, and now just making me hang out in this way. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe, what do you want me to say, Delilah? Make a run to Burger King for me, and then I guess we're cool, you know?
Yeah. I could use a
Yeah,
drink.
I'm over
How about
Delilah.
that?
What's that?
I'm over Delilah as a victim. I wrote that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, she finally, she's, again, don't know what she does, but she did stand up for herself at the restaurant. Delilah at the restaurant, I was okay with this episode.
Yeah.
Delilah
Right.
with Katherine, you can go ahead and fuck off. Yeah, and then that's basically it. Katherine goes to work, apparently for the first time since she went to the quote-unquote Grand Canyon. And her,
till she lawyered the Grand Canyon. Or since she lawyered the Grand Canyon.
And her sassy assistant is back.
Feelings on Carter. Carter the assistant. This is his second or third appearance, I think, right?
Fun. I like him. He's fun.
Dave's into it. Okay, good.
And it's not even that he's not fun, but he doesn't feel like he should be on this show to me. It feels like he wandered off the set of a sitcom somewhere else and just like...
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, like a wacky, like a 3-camera sitcom.
3-camera, brightly lit sitcom about assistants. You wouldn't believe the day I've had. It's like, yeah, woo, Carter.
Yeah.
But
girl, you're a boss.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
He says to he doesn't know where she's been. It's like she at this point has been like 2 weeks. What the fuck, Katherine? You didn't even make up a lie for your work. This shit. And then he's literally like, woman, when have you not confided in me? It's like, hey, don't call your boss woman.
No.
I don't care if you are friends.
I think don't call anyone woman. Hey, Dave, have you ever called someone woman in a sincere manner?
Absolutely not. I don't like when, first of all, that's terrible. I don't like personally getting called like buddy or pal. So woman is just horrible.
Right. Yeah. It's extremely familiar. It's just, I don't know. It's obviously they're friends. Okay, fine. They're friends.
And I buy that Katherine would, feel good talking to a fun, sassy gay because she's super uptight. You're just like, what's up? Have fun.
Right.
Put some whiskey in your coffee or whatever. And she'd be like,
Right. Be like, Jesus, Carter, it's 9:30 a.m. Yeah.
Yay, he's great. He's my opposite. It's lovely.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot.
Right. I learned her last name was Seville. I guess I knew that. I guess Eddie, that sounded familiar after he said Katherine Seville. I was like, oh yeah, I guess it's Eddie Seville.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And basically she tells him what's up, and then mentions something about the house. She needs to get Delilah to sign a thing so she can keep her house. Who even knows what that's about? Totally forgot about the whole losing the house thing. They teased it.
Until they had in the preview.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you have 8 weeks to get your house back, and it's like, what has it been, 6 months? Nobody cares. Everyone forgot about it because Christina Ochoa flew off to Brazil or whatever, and we're like, oh yeah, the mystery, yes. So, yeah, and then Carter says if you're going to be in, you got to be all in, which is, A, some wrestling stuff, and B...
It's all in. He's
all in.
He's an AEW guy.
And also, it's like when you hashtag million little things, the little all-in symbol comes up after it, so he's a real company man, Carter. He's getting the catchphrase in there.
Yeah.
Mainly, and that's when she decides that, because she's saying she's going to try to make it work with Eddie. And as one of our Twitter followers pointed out, he did a real Yoda and said, there is no try.
Wait, who's... Oh, yeah, right. Carter, he's an assistant, right?
Yeah.
Or is he's not another lawyer?
No, he's her assistant.
Yeah, when he's saying there is no try... Yeah, it's a very Yoda thing. There is no try. You make it work or you don't. And then he's like, Katherine Seville wins cases. She doesn't try to win cases. I'm like, is Katherine Seville, is she fucking undefeated? Is that... She's the heavyweight champ? That's what we're talking about?
Maybe.
Eat, sleep, win case, repeat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then she does it. And then she goes and, in the final... I mean, she has a moment that I enjoy a lot, where at the end everybody of course ends up in the same place at the family style dinner at the restaurant. As soon as Katherine walks in, the lights come back on because Katherine fucking gets shit done.
She does.
I fixed it, you idiots. And she gets to the table and Rome is very awkward in a nice way, trying to give her a seat, and then she says, you know what, let's not do this, and tells people that she appreciates them looking out for her. Mm-hmm. It's actually making her feel worse.
Yep.
And, let's just, let's quit it. And it's like, I sure get that. When you feel, shit's bad and people are trying to, be really nice to you, it's like the absolute worst. Like, don't. Just be like, this sucks, and everything sucks, and it's fine, but...
Rome going, his stuttering... can I get you a drink, or do you want to eat? Girl, you hungry? What? Like that at the end, well played, but also I've, never hated Rome more than in that moment.
Yeah, don't make me feel pathetic, Rome.
Yeah, really, everyone's just being fucking weird with Katherine, except for Rode, except for Gary.
Gary saves the day, of course, because he's the only other one who gets shit done.
And guys, speaking of that scene, I was just like... So I went to Instagram and Twitter. I typed in a million little things. DJ Nash said that scene between Gary and Katherine is one of my favorites of the series.
No.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
2 hours ago, he wrote that. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take that. It was fun. He diffuses it. He diffuses the situation with his nipple.
Yes, and I do think Katherine is specifically really good. About she has a very good authentic smile and laugh, so I think she played that really well.
Yeah.
I also wrote down maybe Katherine should just fuck Gary at the end, and I guess we'll get to that at the after we go through Gary and Maggie's storyline a little bit, because that sort of informs that opinion at the end. But yeah, Katherine's great.
She's great.
We've kind of been on the pro Katherine train for a long time as a pro Katherine podcast.
Yeah, she's a grown up.
Yeah, she's a fucking grown-up, when a lot of people aren't here.
And she's a really fun person when she has the time.
Yeah.
But most of the time she doesn't, because everyone else is fucking up.
Yeah.
And she has to deal with it.
All right. Anything else there?
No.
No.
Okay, Eddie. Okay, I guess let's knock out Eddie.
Eddie and Rome babysitting.
I wrote Eddie really into the affair, baby, huh? Is what I wrote down there. It's like Eddie. Everything Eddie says, it's like with that dramatic tint where he's just like, a lot of mistakes were made this past year, but you're the good thing that came out of it. And it's like, man, you're really being dramatic about you fucking up every minute of every day forever. Really, just someone wanted you to be here. It's like, not really. You fucked up all the time forever, and this is a biological result of that.
It is. They were doing that before. Maybe Delilah was the one saying it, but just if nothing else, we made this child. It's like, yeah, the kid is great. No, I don't have any problem with the kid. Kid didn't do anything, but it's like, but don't retroactively be like, what we did was fine.
Yeah.
Because there's a kid. It's like, that's not, no. You can be happy about the kid and then also acknowledge that you shouldn't have been doing what you were doing. So that's, they just did it again. Except Eddie this time.
Yeah. But yeah, he and Rome, they're basically, what were they doing, Dave?
They were trying to get the kid to stop crying. He was nasally. And so, and Eddie felt guilty because he wasn't there for Theo when Theo was a kid, so he doesn't know how to handle a baby because he was in rehab at the time.
Yeah, he doesn't know what to do with a pre 3-month-old.
Right.
Oh, and also he is a particular wiener when he shows up and finds out that Rome has been asked to babysit, and he's just like, oh, but it's my baby.
But it's my baby.
I want to hold the baby. And then Rome's just like, why don't you help? I don't know what to do. Eddie's gonna friggin' cry because I'm babysitting his child once.
Probably the most hard-hitting question I'll ask Chance Hurstfield when we get him on this podcast is, do you feel like Eddie's a wiener? Does everyone does everyone on the cast know that Eddie's a wiener? Does the guy who plays Eddie, does he know Eddie's a wiener? Does DJ Nash know Eddie's a wiener?
Right. If we have time, because I'm going to spend a lot of time apologizing for calling Danny a wiener right off.
Danny knows we called that character a wiener in episode 1, but it took a turn in episode 2. So we've been, and my God, it's been a very pro-Danny podcast for like literally every episode since the pilot.
Made up for it. It's true. I'll only take a couple minutes.
Yeah, he's heard this. Yeah. I also think as a podcast, we're pretty good about pointing out when we know it's not the actor's deal, on stuff. And sometimes actors do weird shit. It's not, sometimes they do. But,
actors make choices, but you got to work with what you got. And by the way, as people who write stuff, I also get that it's hard to write stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
we're writers. Like, everyone here is a writer.
But no one wants to hear us, couching everything we say with like, but, I bet they tried hard.
Yeah, exactly.
They did a good job. I bet they're very talented people. Listen, it's hard to just...
Also, some people on Earth are wieners. That's a real character.
Well, yeah, that is a... Look, I stand by that Eddie is a wiener. You can even be a decent person and be a fucking wiener.
Yeah, we all have a friend who's a wiener.
Yeah.
Everyone think about your wienerist friend. All right, we did, and we don't have to say names, but everyone knows you got a friend who is a wiener. All right.
Yeah, and they might be great otherwise.
So, yeah, anything else with the Rome and Eddie baby stuff? I mean, Sophie obviously runs in and fucking doxes their asses and tries to, put their photos online.
Yeah, Eddie's freaking the whole time because he doesn't know what to do, but then he realizes that Charlie is congested and thinks they should go in a steam shower to uncongest her.
Right.
And then they're in there, and he feels like a decent dad, and Rome is being nice to him, and then at some point, we don't see, they take their shirts off, I guess because it's warm in there, and then...
And you might as well be sexy.
Yeah, I know. ABC setting a real thirst trap for all of us, and we fell right in. Two shirtless dudes holding a baby in a steam shower.
Two shirtless dudes, a baby, and a pizza place.
Yes, and a Sophie with a camera. Not cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's I think that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, you want to talk about some fucking Gary Maggie stuff? Gary Maggie, Maggie's mom?
Hot dang. We got a big old secret this time.
Well, I love it because what happened to Gary at the end is something that consistently has happened to me.
Okay, good.
Oh no, you're the Gary.
I think Dave is the Gary, probably. And
how many nipples do you have, Dave?
Dave, how many nipples do you have?
Well, more than one, but less than 2.5.
Less than 2.5, you said?
No, I said more than Gary's 1, but less than 2, so 1.5.
You have 1.5 nips.
Yeah.
Dave
Oh my God, he is the Gary.
I am, of course, joking.
It would be great if, Dave
Look, we
did
can't
have
prove it.
He had an incident with a shark. It's not a big deal. Can you milk me, Greg? So, yeah, I guess let's start with the fact that we finally, in this episode, the Maggie and Maggie's mom storyline has finally moved forward. It's taken about 2 episodes to move 1 scene's worth of forward.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of stuff comes out this time. There's
Right.
a real Patricia dump of stuff.
Patricia...
God damn it, Trish.
Patricia is bad.
Yes.
Patricia's maybe my least favorite person on this show.
I was holding out, like, up until now, it's like, it could go either way. Like, she could have a secret where she did something nice and somehow, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, like, and now, this really sealed it. It was like, oh, boy, you selfish, girl.
She's selfish. She's remorseless about how selfish she is. She puts her grief above everyone else's.
Uh-huh.
Only her grief matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, as Eric points out, grief can make you do crazy things, but it's like, is she specifically just like, I'm the one that's grieving.
Yeah, no, I get to make all the choices. I get to make all the choices. I get to surprise She surprises Maggie with the fucking guy. What's the guy's name?
Eric.
Eric
Yeah.
is Jason Ritter.
Yes.
That's right. She surprises both of them meeting each other because she's the only one that matters at every point, every step in her life. She's the only one who ever needs to know the truth.
Yeah.
She never
because
has to
I wanted you guys to meet, and otherwise you wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
it's like, right? Because they. Oh yes, you wouldn't want them to have agency. You wouldn't want to let them make a decision.
No.
And of course, yeah, big reveal. They're eating bagels, and Patricia lets everyone know that she knows Eric because Eric has her dead son Chad's heart in his chest.
If I lay here,
Hell,
lay here.
Yes.
perfectly.
That's
used.
our surprise organ recipient stinger.
I also wrote the worst part of the show is the good doctor scenes we get during the commercials in between.
The worst part? No way, it's the worst part.
It's pretty bad.
It's half the time it is just him in the middle of a surgery and just going, no, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like, that's what I would do in surgery.
yeah. Speaking of those freakouts, I was thinking. Remember the old freakouts from Theo when he has those night flashbacks?
night terrors.
Night terrors.
Yeah.
I want some of those again.
Yeah.
Let's get a good old-fashioned Theo night terror where he just walks around with his eyes open and yells about, like, Dad, where's the donkey?
Yeah.
Just some complete nonsense.
Yeah, you're telling me his mom disappeared for a week and he didn't have any night terrors about it? Shit. Or that's why you should have had to come home from the sleepover, because he night terrored all over their house.
Yeah, your kid murdered everybody? That was a faux pas.
Hey, your child's scary as hell. Could you please come get him?
Yeah, your son, do you know he's on his bullshit? Eric has the brother's heart, and I just wrote ugh, all caps, UGH there.
I will say I didn't see it coming.
I know.
I perhaps should have, but I did not, so surprise. Good job.
I do think that's good that we didn't see it coming, right? Like did you see that coming, Dave? I guess we didn't talk about predictions with you.
I knew they were. Well, I didn't know. I assumed they weren't lovers, but I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I think we all.
Thought it was son. Yeah, I thought it was like an adopted son. So that's not like horribly out of the realm.
Right, I think our guesses were it's either adopted son or basically maybe the boyfriend of the brother who died or something.
Right, something
like,
weird to do with that. Yeah.
Something like that. But did not call that he would have had his heart. So I think that's a fine twist. It's just, so whatever.
We were almost as surprised as Maggie was.
Maggie was pretty surprised. Maggie's response to her mom, I think, is entirely right. The mom is fucked. She's fucked up in the head. And she is absolutely treating this guy preferable to her actual daughter.
Yes,
100%.
she is. And you find out later, like in the episode, how much more, but yes.
Yeah. Maggie, they have a showdown about it at the end.
Yeah, it's like the same, sort of the same thing that happened last time, where she like starts to believe her mom, and they come. It's like, okay, yes, I understand why you would want to meet this guy. I get why you're here talking to him this time. And then her mom's like, oh, yay. And then casually mentions, it's like, yeah, that's why I wanted to meet him before I saw you last time. And if you'll remember, Maggie's mom showed up while she was in cancer surgery, not before, to come see her. And then you find out that she was running a little late because she was talking to this Eric guy. and Maggie says, what if I hadn't woken up from surgery? It's like, how bad would you feel? It's like, probably not that bad.
Probably not bad at all.
Because she's got her backup kid, which already I was pissed about. Because
That's good. I like it.
It is. Well, because Patricia, the thing that like wins Maggie over is that she's like, Eric's like, she contacted me when your cancer came back. Which it's like, I guess, it's like, oh, she was so traumatized, she didn't want to lose her kid, and so she she did this thing. But it's like, but what she's doing is she's like, oh, I might lose another kid. I better lock in this backup that actually has my favorite kid's heart inside of him. I should just go ahead and do that and like hedge my bets on this whole losing kids thing. I'm like, that is not that is not okay.
No.
Patricia.
No. Dave, thoughts on the mom Maggie vibe there?
Well, I agree with you that she is my least favorite character. coming into this arc would have been Rome's dad when Rome tried to conversation.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
good call. Rome's dad sucked.
People's
yeah.
parents are not great in this series.
They're almost like service professionals in this, where like every service professional or retail person's just like out of control bullshit assholes.
true.
But yeah.
Yeah, and parents
And
are bad.
Regina's mom, I think, too.
Bad, very bad, yes. Regina
and
had
then
a
we
bad
found-
mom and a bad uncle.
Yeah. And then we found out she was victimized, but whatever. It's still bad. No, I mean, I want to see how this thing plays out. Obviously, I really like Jason Ritter. I also love Gary, so if Gary needs some side action, if Jason Ritter takes Maggie off his hands for a while.
So here's the thing. Obviously Maggie's mom, it's fucked up. Maggie's mom is absolutely favored the brother over her, favors this new guy with the brother's heart over her. Mm-hmm. What I wrote in all caps, why is Heart Guy here? What, does he not have any family of his own? Why the fuck are you here, dude? Like, he's just here, and he's being portrayed as a good guy, and it's like, why? Okay, I know why Maggie's mom is latching onto you, but why are you like, okay, I guess you own me now, I'm a fucking pet. Like, he just got, like, adopted? You're a fucking adult! Like, what?
I'm a human Tamagotchi.
Yeah, he's a Tamagotchi. What is he just got? It's like she won him at a fucking carnival. Excuse me, I'm F-bombing all over the place.
I know, Chance is. It's okay.
Chance knows.
He's a teen now.
He's on a. He's
No,
on a
we're going to
dramatic-
meet his parents. It's going to be like Henry Winkler and Judith Light. It's just got to.
God, I hope so. Yeah, and it's like, and I kind of, at the end, I thought, okay, maybe.
Good casting.
Yeah, because he says grief makes you do crazy things. You find out that his fiance died right after their wedding in a motorcycle accident on Martha's Vineyard. And I'm like, there's some weird shit that happened there. Also, he said grief will make you do crazy things. It's like, well, what have you done that's crazy then, Eric?
Yeah.
What? So it's like, I guess maybe they've been emailing about loss and stuff. But my main question was just like, they've been emailing for like years. The fuck are they talking about all the time? Just like, are they just pen pals? Like, what's going on there?
Oh, it's crazy. And just like, why... I don't understand why he's just like free to hang out with this new family. It makes no sense to me.
He's a business owner. A guitar is born. It's terrible. It's not even good.
What is that?
He has a music shop called A Guitar is Born.
It's done. That's oof.
It's not. I would have accepted A Sitar is Born.
Yeah, Sitar is Born sounds a little more right, and it's very niche, but yeah, it just I could not get over that. I could not get over why is this guy allowing himself to be put in the middle of all this, and also why is anyone accepting anything he says is worth anything? Like Maggie's talking to this guy a lot, and Maggie obviously gets along with him for some reason and has a moment with him. If I'm Maggie, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? Do you have a mom? Like, do you have a real mom? You know, you're just having an organ of my brother's does not make you my brother. Also, Maggie is attracted to this guy, right? She's gonna fuck her brother's heart?
You
That's
can't.
what.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
well,
yucky. That should
And also, guys, we were talking about, like, A Guitar is Born and stuff and jobs. Gary literally doesn't work.
It's true.
Work.
He's too busy, like, keeping all his friends from killing themselves. But yes, that is a good point. We've literally seen Gary at work once ever.
And I think his
In the
feet were
pilot.
right. And his feet were up on the desk and he was just like quoting numbers and that's it. He's like, well, see you next Christmas, I guess, or whatever.
He's the Chandler. Nobody knows or cares what he does.
Real Chandler Bing job vibes. Yeah. Yeah. Any other Eric Maggie mom thoughts there before we dive into Gary?
Yeah, that was right, yeah. I guess it was I'm looking through. As far as Eric's concerned, it's like I get the feeling that he's either done something fucked up or will do something fucked up. I'm giving him like a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, but I'm highly suspicious.
The best thing we know about him is that he crashed his motorcycle and killed his fiance.
Exactly.
That's the only thing. Like, that's the only thing of substance we know about this guy. Besides the fact that he's just willing to. You give him a heart and you own him now.
Right. And okay, so all right. The other thing is that Gary finds out with very little information, and good for him, that Patricia did not leave her husband, Eugene, which I don't know if I knew his name before. He left her because he found the email she was writing with Eric and then said it was him or me, which at the time when that came out, I'm like, is that a thing? Can you, like, not be married and have a pen pal? Like, at first that seemed a little weird. And then you find out, like, oh, okay. Or I found out because it took me a minute. But, like, if you gave Patricia every benefit of every doubt, and it's like, all right, you wanted to shield your daughter from like whatever, like the had suffered or whatever, and then there was never a good time to admit that actually like his heart is out there somewhere, but you're gonna keep that from your husband, who, you know, she's all like, oh, you don't know what it's like to lose a child. Guess who does? The guy that you're married to, whose child it also was.
Right.
And he didn't know all this time that you put his heart in somebody else. It's like, Patricia, that's bad.
Patricia's a sociopath.
Yeah. I'm like, that is pretty, and that's not even, so I guess it was weird to me that it was like a him or...
What's that, Dave?
Patricia Bateman.
Patricia Bateman? Yeah, the very good American Psycho.
There you go. Exactly. So yeah, anyway, it was weird to me when it was like, it's me or Eric, because it's like, because they're not having an affair, but he should have definitely been pissed and possibly left her just for the fact that it's like, you never told me this extremely important thing about what happened when our kid died.
Yeah.
That's not all right.
Fucking leave her because she sucks, honestly. Maggie's dealing with a lot, so I'm going to give Maggie a lot of leeway with a lot of this, because her mom sucks. And not only does her mom suck now, but she grew up with a mom that sucked the whole time for sure. So I'm giving Maggie some slack there.
Right now I'm not mad at Maggie.
Not about that.
Yes. I mean, and, you know, when we get to the end of it, I'm not even, like, mad at the end. It's not good, but I'm like, I'll reserve complete judgment till next time, when she almost certainly will actually fuck up.
Yeah. All right. Dave, anything else you got on them outside of getting into Gary?
No, I was just going to get into the Gary.
Lead us into Gary.
Well, at the end, obviously, we see Eric sending the text to Maggie being like, if you ever want to talk, you know, I'm here. It's like Gary has been the one consistently trying to get Maggie to be cancer-free, being there for her. I will play devil's advocate. You know, it's probably easier for Maggie to open up to someone else because it's not the one she's with, you know, Gary type of deal. All I'm saying is I'm usually in the position where I'm the Gary type trying to do my best, and I get, like, pushed away, sort of.
Sure, trying to be
Yeah.
Trying to be there for the person, and then the person, like, doesn't want the person who's most there for them.
Yes, and I can't tell you, I don't understand why, like, we're not the person to be on the receiving end of the good stuff, but it just is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's not great.
No, and right, Gary's done everything he can to be there, and he's tried to be quietly supportive. I mean, he was a little pushy before, about which led to her getting showing up at the bar and catching her mom with fucking Brother Heartboy, but Brother Heartboy, terrible band. But
Eddie's probably in it.
Right, Eddie did. Yeah, Eddie's a guest guitarist in Brother Heartboy, and they tour. They tour to one place only. It's a mall. But since then, he's gone out of his way to try to smooth things over with the mom, smooth things over with Maggie, like individually and about each other, all of that. And Maggie just kind of keeps turning her back to him, right? Unless I'm seeing it wrong. That's the feeling I get. Just no matter what Gary does, it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be, nothing Gary does can be right with Maggie, it seems like at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good synopsis.
Yeah, it's for the most part, it seems like she just doesn't want to talk to anybody. But this time, she ended up talking to someone else,
And-
which is hurtful.
Yeah.
And not completely, she was just trying to run away and then, got in the car with the dude. So it's like I said, at this point, it's sort of like, it's not like she sought the guy out. And like, also she's like trying to get the backstory from him about like what the hell is going on since her mom is a wackadoodle. So it's like, all right, you tell me, brother heart boy,
Brother heart boy,
what's going on. So it's like,
then,
at this point, while it's like hurtful and not great, I feel like it's not like, she didn't do anything like really bad on purpose, but she's probably going to, and it's not great.
And then, the scenes go so fast, but really quick, we might get into the situation where she thinks that, like, the tarot card reader from the first episode of this year, the tarot card reader, like, saying the spirit of the brother. So it's going to get... It looks like next week that they're hinting at that.
What did the tarot card reader say?
Yeah, I know it was about her brother.
So the tarot card reader was reading Delilah, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up he read a different. There was a different spirit in the room.
Yeah, and it was like, it's your brother, and I'm seeing a car. Yeah. So we ended up accidentally, connecting Maggie supposedly to her brother's spirit,
but which we didn't know at the time. We did know that at the time, kind of. But yeah. So we were not because, and then the scene next week, Maggie's like, what about the tarot? She didn't say tarot card reader, but what about the sign or whatever? Yeah. So now with the heart, So
yeah, it seems like she's going to start falling into the mom trap a little bit, where it's just like, maybe it is my brother, except we can kiss.
It's the best of all worlds.
Can you imagine?
I am not going to kiss any of my brothers, and if any of my brothers die and someone gets their heart, I'm not kissing them either.
Same. That's a million little podcast promise.
Yeah.
None of us is going to smooch our brothers.
Nope. And they at the very end there, and feel free to cut me off, anyone, if I'm skipping over something you want to talk about. But at the end, they're in the restaurant, right? And James Roday's done the thing where he tried to hook up Katherine, tried to lighten the mood, make a distraction, help out Katherine a little bit there. Katherine seemed appreciative of that, so that's cool. Then he moves on to Maggie. He stops by Maggie, and it seems very clear that Maggie does not really want to deal with him. She hasn't been friendly to him in any way, hasn't been receptive to anything in any way. So he says, I'm going to go check in on Delilah. And I think at that moment, that's him being like, well, I'm not wanted here. I'm going to give you space.
Well, she comes over to talk to him, right? He's at the bar ordering a drink, and she comes over to talk to him. It's sort of when she's finally, she has not been hanging out with him until then, and she finally comes over. But at that point, he's already seen the text. It's like, oh, okay. And I'm sure he's just sort of like, well, I'm not needed, I guess.
Yeah, he's already seen the text.
So he saw the text from Eric.
Yes. So she comes over to say, and then he's just like, cool, I should probably go talk to Delilah. And then, because I think she's a little, like, she seems slightly confused, like why he left as soon as she came over.
She seemed like she potentially wanted to not talk about that, but she seemed friendlier at that moment.
Right.
Yes.
But not that she was going to talk about anything heavy. But she seemed more open at that time.
Right. And she's been through a lot, but I could also see, and I'm not saying this is what Gary's doing, but I would also be the person who would a little spitefully in that situation.
Oh, I think he was.
I would be like, you know what? You don't need me. You haven't needed me this whole time. You don't get to just bless me with I'm ready for you now. Now I'm going to make you wait.
Yeah.
I would absolutely do that.
Yeah. He was like genuinely hurt.
Yeah.
And sort of done with it for the moment.
Yeah.
And he was and probably just didn't want to get into it, because he would either have to ignore what he just read completely, or he would have to be like, hey, so I saw that. What's up? And he's not, he's not going to blow up the whole friend hang, so he just removed himself from the situation and went to go fucking fix somebody else's life.
Yep. I think that's all I had written down. Any thoughts we didn't cover, Dave or Jamie?
I think, I'm good. I think ending that conversation, it makes sense, because that's where the episode ended, and I thought that was a major issue. So,
The guy that plays Carter is named Sam Pancake.
His name is Sam Pancake?
Yeah.
Order that. Sam Pancake. God dang. That's a fun name. Good for him.
Put some syrup on me. I'm Sam Pancake.
I could be a little sweeter. That's not even doing a bit. That's just how that character talks.
That's Carter.
That's Carter.
I could hear it.
Yep,
that's it.
I also wrote this show does not fuck around with intro music time. It's the opposite of HBO shows, where HBO, roughly 40% of an HBO episode is the intro theme. It's just like 2.5 minutes long. Every credit that's ever happened in the open, and
like an old timey movie.
And this song and this show is like, you get friggin' two music stings and you're done. It's like the end, and then the episode starts. So I respect that. They're really cramming. They're using their time for story.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's all I got. Any thoughts about predictions going into next week? Dave sort of got into it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I want to say I like how they have a different narrator at the beginning, like going through the scenes. The
different voiceover person. Yeah, who was doing it this week?
Maggie.
Is Maggie?
It was Maggie this week. I have a feeling next week it's going to be Regina, although I feel like maybe she was last week. But no, in terms of next week, I just think more unraveling is going to come with the Maggie Eric stuff. But like I say, the scenes go by, or the previews go by quickly. I just think Maggie's going to get into this tarot card reading thing, and it's going to push Gary away, and I just see Gary making out with someone.
That's a good predict.
Gary and Katherine sitting in a tree.
Fucking do it. Honestly, if Gary and Katherine get together, I'd be like, you guys should just move somewhere else and get off this show. Go, have a good life.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't be mad at that final scene for this series.
Yeah. Totally. They just hold hands and get on a boat.
Yep. Off into the sunset.
Yeah.
3 nipples between them.
3 nipples, 1 love. Yeah. Yeah, we have no guarantee on Katherine's number of nipples, but, I'll ballpark it. I think she seems like a 2-nip lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our prediction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's all we got. Right, everybody?
That's it. We did it.
Follow us at A Million Little Things on Instagram, at A Million
Podcast on Instagram.
A Million Little Oh, excuse me. Yes, good call. Thank you, Jamie. At A Million Little Podcast on Instagram, at A Million Podcast on Twitter, and follow Chance Hurstfield to get retweets about things we're doing.
Hell yeah!
On there, and we'll probably talk to that fella soon. Yeah, that's it. I guess we'll see. Anything before we go next week?
No, I'm just, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Hope the listeners have a good weekend. Thanks for the downloads and listens.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here.
A Million Little Bites.